ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ Namaste, all of you. Welcome back to our continuing study of this great text, Vivekachudamani, authored by the great Adi Shankaracharya and taught to us by our dear Guru, our Acharya, Swami Paramarthananda. We are in the important section in which Adi Shankaracharya lays a lot of emphasis on vichara or inquiry. Inquiry because we have drawn wrong conclusions about the object that is being inquired into. And why have we drawn wrong conclusions? Because of our incomplete understanding of the object at hand, or complete, I would say, incomplete understanding. Because complete ignorance is also bliss. It is only incomplete understanding that can lead to wrong assumptions and wrong conclusions. Complete understanding and complete ignorance are bliss. When we see things in the true light, in their true light, proper understanding results. There is no scope for any misunderstanding or misconceptions. It is only when there is partial understanding and the environment is not properly lit, within brackets, within quotes. Just as in the case of our rope snake, we were looking at the snake in semi darkness. Although, on inquiry, we ascertain that it is nothing but a harmless piece of rope that is lying on the ground in front of us in semi darkness. It was a rope, always, but due to semi darkness and certain other thoughts that had been running in our minds, about the area being infested with snakes, etc. Probably we have even returned from a movie called The Snake, and it is twilight hour. Anyone in such a situation is likely to draw his own conclusions. One can conclude that that innocent rope is a streak of water, a mala that's lying on the floor, or even a crack on the earth. And of course, that infamous rope snake. All this because of improper lighting. And therefore, Shankaracharya says, we must, to rid this ignorance. If ridding ignorance is the aim, then inquiry is the only way, is the only direct means to rid ignorance and the accompanying misconceptions. And he says this inquiry has to be conducted by a qualified person, the student or the person who is about to conduct the inquiry, with the aid of a proper source of light, because there was insufficient light, right? That caused all the problems, bhaya and dukkha. So we need a proper, powerful source of light. We need to shine that source of light on the object under question. Not only that, we need to be guided by someone who we trust. A trustworthy person must help us approach the object under question. It's not enough that we merely shine the source of light, we must also near the object under question. It is only under the guidance of a trustworthy person can we even develop the courage, build up the courage to near the object. So we need a torchlight in the case of the rope, and we need a well-wisher who we could trust, who we can trust, hold his or her hand, trust their words, and approach the object. Similarly, Shankaracharya says, applying the same approach, we need to make an inquiry into the unknown factor, Brahman. Because we have only partial knowledge about Brahman. But this partial knowledge doesn't keep quiet. It raises a lot of misconceptions in our minds. Therefore, the task at hand is to inquire with a qualified mind with the help of the Shastra flashlight, which is akin to the source of light that we used to shine on the rope, and the guidance of a hitoktaha, hitoktitaha, hitokti, guidance of a well-wisher, an acharya, a guru, who has already been there and come back to guide us to the ultimate destination. Therefore, Shankaracharya, as we are observing in these few verses, in verse beginning from, I'll tell you, beginning from, he's building the idea from the 8th verse. He says, Santam Mahantam Samupetya Deshikam. In the 8th verse, he said, and then in the 9th verse, he said, Samyak Darshana Nishtaya. Then he says, Yatyatam Panditair Dhiraihi Atmabhyasa Upasthitaihi. And then he really begins to let it on from the 11th shloka. He says, Chittasya Shuddhaye Karma Natu Vastupalabdhaye Vastu Siddhir Vicharene. Vastu Siddhir Vicharene. Vichara is the emphasis. Then Samyak Vicharatas Siddha in the 12th shloka. And now in the present shloka, the shloka number 13, Arthasya Nischayo Drishto Vicharena Hitoktitaha. Vicharena Hitoktitaha. So Shankaracharya is laying a lot of emphasis on inquiry. Inquiry into something that is only known partially. With the help of Guru Shastra Upadesha, to be received by a qualified mind, antahkaranam. Both factors are important. Guru Shastra Upadesha and a sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikari. It is only when both these factors are in place will right knowledge dawn in the mind of the receiver. Shankaracharya will, in the upcoming verses, shlokas, talk about the qualifications required both on the part of the Guru as well as on the part of the student. Let me read Shloka 13 for the sake of continuity, and then pick up the thread from where we left in the last capsule. Shloka 13. Arthasya nischayo drishtaha vicharena hitoktitaha nasnanena nadanena pranayamashate va. Shankaracharya is laying a lot of emphasis on approaching a guru and receiving the Upadesha from the Guru, who bases the Upadesha on the Shastras. There is no other method of ridding ignorance. You have to approach the Guru with a qualified mind. With a qualified mind. This was this idea about why a qualified mind is important while studying the Shastras was beautifully brought out by a shloka that Swamiji quoted, which we looked at in the last capsule. I will quote that verse and we will look at the meaning of that verse in the upcoming capsule. Swamiji said, Yasya nasti swayam prajna shastram tasya karoti kim लोचनाभ्याम विहीनस्य दर्पणम किम करिष्यति यस्य नास्ति स्वयं प्रज्ञा शास्त्रम तस्य करोति किम लोचनाभ्याम विहीनस्य दर्पणम किम करिष्यति asks this beautiful shloka. We will quickly look at the meaning of this shloka in the upcoming capsule and take our study forward. Hari Om.